It was called the 1954 Granada Treaty, which basically made the agreement that the aliens involved could take some cows now and then and also test their implanting techniques on a few select human beings. But they had to give details to the government about the people. In return, the United States would get alien technology that would help them defeat the Russians. However, after the bases were built and the aliens firmly established, the government realized that they had been fooled. There was no promised technology, and the aliens did what they wanted when they wanted. They were in total control. Schneider said that he was involved in building an addition to the deep underground military base at Dulce. The base goes down 7 levels and is over 2.5 miles deep. At that particular time, workers had drilled 4 holes in the desert and were going to link them together and blow out large sections at a time. Schneider's job was to go down the holes and check the rock samples and recommend the explosives to deal with the particular rock. As the crew was headed down, they found themselves amidst a large cavern that was full of creatures known as large greys. Schneider says that they had surprised a whole underground base of existing aliens. Later, they found out that the creatures had been living on our planet for a long time, perhaps 1 million years. According to the late Bill Cooper, a confrontation broke out between the human scientists and the aliens at the Dulce underground lab. The aliens took the scientists hostage, and Delta forces were sent in to free them, but they were no match for the aliens' weapons. 66 people were killed during this action. As a result, we withdrew all joint projects for at least 2 years. Some remote viewers who were in the same NSA operation as myself told me personally that centuries ago, the people who were the creators of what we now call the New World Order entered into a pact with an alien nation hidden within the Earth. The U.S. government in 1933 agreed to trade animals in exchange for high-tech knowledge and to allow the creatures to use underground bases in the western United States. A special group was formed to deal with these alien beings. In the 1940s, these creatures began shifting their focus of operations from Central and South America to the United States. These creatures could be the same beings who were in contact and helping the German Nazis. Now they are slowly spreading like cancer to the United States. Skeptics have expressed doubts about the existence of secret underground bases. They always ask, where's all the dirt? Well, one method of tunneling that has been available to the military since the 1950s and is now just being considered for public use is nuclear tunnel boring. The method for tunneling involves melting rock using a machine in which the molten material can be disposed adjacent to the boring zone in cracks in the rock and as a glassy wall lining of the formed tunnel. The heat source can be electrical or nuclear, but for deep drilling, a nuclear reactor is preferred. This amazing boring device is capable of drilling at depths totally inaccessible with previous drilling techniques. The stories that surround the secret underground bases and tunnels all seem to be connected to a thread involving the same types of alleged UFO entities, namely the Greys and reptilians. These are beings that are fairly recent to the UFO scene, emerging as the dominant creatures associated with UFOs sometime in the early 1970s. Before that time, most reported UFO contacts involved human-looking aliens, often referred to as the Nordics, because of their light skin, blue eyes, and blonde hair. There were also small humanoids sighted starting in the early 1950s, but the big-eyed Greys and the dinosaur-like reptilians were not reported until much later. It is almost as if these creatures' true form is being kept from us. Possibly they are able to disguise themselves to fit our cultural expectations. However, they always keep a humanoid appearance. 1 head, 2 arms, 2 legs. They look more like us than an actual alien probably would. Given how diverse life is here on Earth, it would be almost impossible for life on another planet to develop looking so much like us. Maybe they look so much like us because we are actually much closer to them than we know. So where do UFOs and their pilots actually come from? Do they come from outer space or from hidden places deep underground? Maybe the reptilians aren't from some distant planet. Maybe they are from Earth just like us. Maybe they are descendants of the ancient dinosaurs that lived millions of years ago. Maybe they didn't become extinct. Maybe, like us, they evolved into intelligent creatures who built their own civilization and science. Possibly some left to conquer outer space while others stayed behind to build their society deep underground. Maybe now they're returning to Earth, their home planet, to find it overrun with a bunch of talking monkeys. So now we find ourselves back to square one, asking the same questions but not getting the answers. Perhaps there are no real answers, only mysteries upon mysteries. This is probably why we are seeing a battle taking place within the groups that control what little actual information there is about UFOs. There is the Aquarius group, associated with the New World Order-controlled MJ-12. And opposing them is a group known as COM-12. COM-12 is reportedly trying to sustain a rearguard action to keep and preserve constitutional government and is deliberately leaking information that MJ-12 is trying to hide. It is our duty to continue this mission and to bring the truth out into the light. But just how good is this information, considering the deceptive nature of the UFO beings? They have lied to us about their origins, their technology, and why they are here. To still think that all UFOs and the creatures that control them are strictly from other planets is naive. Now, my best guess is that the UFO phenomena actually is a number of different phenomenons that bear superficial resemblance to each other. Yes, some UFOs are interplanetary spacecraft, but others could be interdimensional, spiritual, even time travelers from our own future. We can't leave out any scenario because they all can fit into the puzzle one way or another. In fact, many UFOs are man-made ships using advanced technology such as zero-point energy and anti-gravity, and this has been kept secret from the public. Now, this is not as wild a claim as it may seem. As far back as the early 1900s, the great genius Nikola Tesla, who gave us our modern electrical technologies, discovered how to tap into the abundant natural energies that permeate the universe. His discoveries eventually resulted in the first experiments in time travel and anti-gravity. Of course, Tesla claimed that in 1899 he received radio signals from what he said could have been intelligent creatures not of this conservative movement of less taxes and no big government. The neoconservatives and their partners, the religious right, have been completely taken over by the New World Order. Their mission, to use the military might of the United States to dominate the world. This, in turn, will break the U.S. economy as more and more money is spent on military expansionism. Now, the citizens of the United States will be forced to live in constant fear as government operatives, disguised as foreign terrorists, conduct terrorist operations throughout the country. The conservative administration will declare martial law and abolish all political parties, except for the conservatives. It's happening right now. Just listen to talk radio or read some of the books being released by the conservative mouthpieces. Most glorify the ultra-right movement and denounce the Democrats as treasonous. One author even writes that the Democrats should be taken out and shot. The neoconservatives are telling us